Hi everyone, this is a tutorial on Fix You by Coldplay. This is the acoustic instrumental version that I have posted on my YouTube channel. So I'll talk about first how I have the guitar configured. It's in drop D tuning, and I have a capo on the 2nd fret. The original key of this tune is in E flat, I believe. We have put it in E to make it a little bit more guitar friendly. If you wanted to do it in the concert pitch, you could just move it down to 1st fret and you'd have the E flat key. So, and then just really quickly, I'll talk about how I refer to the guitar. It might be confusing at times. When I'm in the open position, I'll refer to everything as relative to the capo. So this would be 2nd fret as opposed to 4th fret. But as we get further up the neck out of open position, I will use the absolute position of the fret. So this would be 9th fret here as opposed to 7th. It's just the way my brain works. I don't know if everyone's like that or not, but that's just the way I think of it. So let's get started. The first thing you need to do is bar the top 4 strings of the guitar with your 1st finger. You can actually bar the top 3 if you're more comfortable with that. I find it makes me a little bit more square just to bar the top 4. And I have my 3rd finger on the 6th fret 4th string and my 2nd finger on the 5th fret 2nd string. And this actually makes a nice E chord. It's you can actually see that we have the shape of a D chord there, and we're just adding the 3rd of the chord with our 2nd finger, or 3rd finger, excuse me. And all you need to do is play the 6th string, 4th string, and 2nd string. And for the next chord, we're going to move to 6th fret on the bottom string with your 3rd finger, and switch the 6th fret 3rd finger to your 4th finger. And you can probably see just like how I have it there. And you can lose the 2nd finger on the 5th fret, and you'll get something like this. Might need to be tuned. I just put new strings on. Okay. And for the next chord, it's going to be a lot like a B minor 7th chord. You're going to play the 5th, 4th, and 2nd string. However, instead of taking the traditional shape of a B minor 7th chord, it's going to be tempting to do that, but you should use your 4th finger on the 4th string so that you're in better position to keep that note ringing. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Okay, now if I were to switch fingers and do it the more comfortable way using my 3rd finger there, I have to get off of the string and it dies. We lose the ringing sound of that G sharp. So keep your 4th finger there. It's a little awkward, but it's necessary to keep that G sharp ringing from the previous chord. And then the last chord is just a regular open A chord. Same strings, 5th, 4th, 2nd. Okay, so now we're ready to start the verse. You'll be coming off of this A chord, and you just need to play the 3rd string twice, and go right into an open D chord, and play the bottom string with the top 3, and you can play it just like a chord, and hammer on to the 2nd fret, and go right down the chord, 2nd, 3rd. The next chord is going to be barring the top 3 strings, and get your 3rd finger on the 6th fret, and you're just going to play the 6th string and the 3rd and 2nd string. Now, that's going to feel a little awkward to do this hammer-on pull-off on the 2nd and 3rd fret. But you want to come down on the 6th fret on the 3rd string. Oops. Let me find my place here. But it's the you're going right into this kind of B minor chord. It is a B minor chord. And that should feel pretty natural. And again. And the third time through, we're going to go up to the 3rd fret on the top string. And same chord, except you're going to just play the top string when you're barring the top 3 strings there, or top 4 strings if you want to do it that way. And I'm catching the 7th fret with my 4th finger there. Now that note, that E there on the 5th fret with my 2nd finger, that anticipates the next chord. So, right? And there's that just 5, 4, 2 again. Now, if you're familiar with an A sus4 chord, it's going to be 2nd fret on the 4th and 3rd strings, and then adding your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. You're going to go right up that chord. And I like to play the 4th and 3rd strings together. Now this is not a regular A chord. You're going to be adding that 3rd fret there. And it's going to feel really easy to go right into the D chord. And now we're going to slide with our 3rd finger, or 4th finger, excuse me, up to the 7th fret, and catch the 6th fret on the bottom string with your 3rd finger, and come down with, and bar the 2nd fret again with your 1st finger, and grab the 2nd fret with your, excuse me, the 3rd fret with your 2nd finger. And so that whole thing looks like this. And I'm playing the 2nd and 3rd string together. Okay. Same thing there. And we're going to go through the verse again. Now the 2nd time through, just add some variation. I play the bass note on every beat, every quarter note. So that sounds like this. First verse. Just refresh my screen here. It just went dead on me. And I apologize if the guitar sounds out of tune. It's kind of bugging me. I'll spare you the sound of listening to me tune my guitar. So now we're going to go into the chorus. And this is easy. We just need to grab the 7th fret with our 1st finger. And it's the open middle 3 strings there, 4, 3, and 2. Now after that, apply your 3rd and 4th finger to the 9th and 10th fret. Creates a nice 5 chord there. There's no, we're missing the 3rd, but it's just temporary. Bass note you hear is the open 4th string. move your fourth finger down to the 9th fret, and the open 4th string is there too. So that is, excuse me. Okay, right into an A chord. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. You're going to have to play the quarter note in the bass. But the melody here is syncopated, so it'll take some getting used to. But once you figure out where the bass note falls, it gets a little easier. That actually sounds a little better to me. I'm not. Let me play it again. I don't know if I like the sound of playing the bass note right away or not. I'll leave that up to you. I'm kind of torn. Now that last part is just going from the 5th string open to the 2nd string open and falling on the 9th fret with your 3rd finger on the 3rd string. To catch that A chord again. Now you can actually just leave your finger there as is. You don't need to play the open strings like I did for the first time through the chorus. And again. Here I cheat a little bit because we need that bass note to come through, and instead of playing, I just go. It's the same note, just in a lower octave. That's just the way I played it, but you're welcome to do it your way. That would be in the original pitch. That's just going up to the 2nd fret and then down onto the 3rd fret with your 2nd finger, and you're right in position to start the intro again. Now for the second time through the verse, I add some percussion, and a couple of people have asked me about this in the comments. I don't really have a great way of describing what's going on, and I'm not too sure it's the greatest technique to begin with. It's actually kind of sloppy, but the idea is to just sort of apply more of a strumming motion with your fingers and create sort of a thwack effect. And most of the time you want to be coming down on the 6th string to create a little tap, and it creates sort of a 2 and 4 snare drum effect. When you're playing this and working through it, keep in mind that if you can't get the note to sound at the same time as a thwack, you should favor the sound of the thwack over the note. I know that sounds a little weird, but you're now playing through the verse for the 3rd time, so the melody is pretty established, and the listener can imagine what that note is that you're implying. So let me just walk you through that. That sound with those open strings, and then you don't even get the bass note here. And that's really tricky there too, is to get the 2nd string to sound open and get it's really, let me try that again. I'm kind of giving preference to the sound of the percussion over the notes. If you lose the 2 and 4, the whole thing just kind of falls apart, and it sounds awkward. So I would say work on getting that percussion sound first, and then try to get all the notes to come through. I don't really get them through very clearly all the time, especially there. So really quickly, I'll go through the interlude, and this is mostly improvisation, but I'll give you the basic positions. That is third string, 2nd fret, 3rd fret on the second string, and then the 7th fret with your 4th finger on the top. And the getting to the A is a bit tricky. You need to apply your 3rd finger to the bottom string on the 7th fret. Creates an A sus2 chord, which I find really nice. And then a sus chord, just like we have in the verse. Keep that 7th fret with your 4th finger. That's key. Okay, so that's those positions, and then so there I'm fretting the 2nd fret, everything but the bottom string, to create the C sharp minor. So there, in the original video, I actually don't play the C sharp minor until only a few times in the interlude, but I like to sound more like the original recording. You can do it every other time. Later on in the interlude, I'm up here, and this gets there's a lot of strumming going on, but what you want is your 1st finger on the 9th fret on the 3rd string, and you can get your 4th finger on the 12th fret, 2nd string. And actually, let me rephrase that. It should be 2nd finger on the 9th fret and then 4th finger on the 12th. It's a bit of a stretch, but you need to do that because you need to get to the A here with your 1st finger. And this is the biggest stretch of the whole tune, is that 7 to 12. Same notes over and over again with the bass note changing. That's a technique called ostinato, and it's pretty cool. You just keep playing the same thing, but the bass note is changing, so it has the illusion that of motion, but it's really static on top. To get to the C sharp minor, you're going to use the 11th fret. You'll have to change your fingering there to 1 and 4. It's just strumming the whole thing. There's that chord again. I'm barring the 9th fret with my 1st finger. This is a chord from the chorus. And the next chord is the 9th fret with your 2nd finger, and on the 2nd and 3rd string play the 9th fret as well. And you get basically an E chord with a B in the bass, which is a great sort of suspension chord. That wants to resolve to a B major. You'll do that by playing a B chord with the open 5th string, and then 9, 8, 7 in the middle 3 strings. It's like a little D chord, 11, 12, 11, and finally. This is going to be, and then the next, this is 6 and 5, and then 7 and 7. Actually, you can probably do this. Just play 1 and 3 open. And the harmonic on the 7th fret. Whoops, sorry. On the 9th fret. 7th might sound good too. Alright, that's it. It's been a while since I played this piece, so I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. Feel free to email me any questions through the comments section, or just direct message me. And just make your questions specific enough so they know where you are in the piece, and I can let you know what fingering to use or what fret you should be on or whatever. I'm happy to answer those questions. It's just the questions that are just give me tabs. I can't really answer those questions because I just don't have the time or energy to do that. So hopefully this tutorial helps you. I've had a lot of requests for this video. Thank you for tuning in, and keep playing.